now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Bride of Dracula. Goddess Next Door and John Haynes team up to take on the dark vampire in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Bride of Dracula in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. One of the best comics of 2019 that people need to pick up is Dynamite's Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. After reading most of the issues of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, I'm floored about how great this comic is. Writer David Avallone does an amazing job capturing the voice of Elvira in every issue, and he does an even more fantastic job with the comedy in between the action that goes on in practically every issue. When I read every issue of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, I'm taken back to the 1980s and Elvira's fun movie show, Elvira's Movie Macabre, where she hosted before one of the old school horror movies used to play, because that's the way this comic feels. It feels just like Elvira's Movie Macabre. Moreover, it oftentimes feels a lot like the classic 1988 movie, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And that was the thing that I really enjoy about the Elvira comic series, is how it stays really consistent with the Elvira character Cassandra Peterson created back in the 1980s, and captures again that voice and spirit of Cassandra Peterson's Elvira and brings her to life practically on every comic page. And the first story arc, which really covered a lot of Gothic literature, was absolutely fantastic, and I urge you to definitely pick that one up either in back issues or in the trades, because that storyline is absolutely fantastic and does a great job of covering all of the authors of Gothic literature as Elvira travels to different periods as she's being chased by the Vlad Tepes, or Vlad the Impaler. And that storyline ended in a very fantastic fashion, and now we are in the middle of a second storyline that really feels a lot like John Byrne's old classic She-Hulk series, because the second storyline, involving a witch's broom and several guys who are a part of a cult, this second storyline actually is more better than the first, and it actually makes it where you want to just go back and pick up the back issues of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And again, when I read the issues in this second story arc, it really, really reminds me so much of John Byrne's sensational She-Hulk run of the 1980s. And anybody who knows those She-Hulk comics knows that those books were filled with a lot of action, adventure, and especially a lot of humor. And oftentimes Jennifer Walters would break the fourth wall between the Marvel Universe and the real world. And just like Jennifer Walters did in Sensational She-Hulk, you got that Elvira breaking the fourth wall with a lot of the humor, and she does go into a lot of wacky and fantastic adventures in between breaking the fourth wall and giving us everything as related to breaking that fourth wall in the world of horror. So there's a lot of fun stuff in this series, and I really want to see more readers pick up Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, because it is an absolutely fun series, and I really want to see more readers pick it up, because when I look at the numbers on Comic-Con, which say that this book only gets 8,460 units ordered for September, that shouldn't be the case. This is one of the best books out there, and it should be doing at least 50 to 60,000 orders, because this book is just so much fun, and I really want to see more readers pick this one up, because people oftentimes out here complain about their not being comics featuring great heroines. Well, Elvira is a great heroine as related to comics, and Cassandra Peterson is a great heroine when it comes down to women overall. I mean, she owns the Elvira brand, and she owns the Elvira name, and she is a fantastic businesswoman, and she was one of the inspirations for one of my characters, Cassandra Lee, who was featured in the novel A Recipe for Success. One of the reasons why I named the character Cassandra was after Cassandra Peterson because of her brilliant business mind as related to the Elvira brand. And this comic just shows how she really knows how to do business, because this comic is well crafted, it's rock solid, and it's one that I definitely recommend you pick up. It's a comic that, as I see it, does need more people reading it, more people sharing it, because oftentimes we complain in the comic book world about there being a lack of books featuring great heroines, and here's a book with a great heroine telling great stories without any sort of identity politics or any sort of so-called social justice narratives, and this book isn't getting the traction I believe it needs, and I believe more readers need to go out here and pick this book up, because it is one of the best books of 2019, and it's one I would definitely put on a top 10 list, and one that I really want to see more readers pick up. You can pick up your copy of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark from Dynamite in the floppy format or the digital format by clicking the links in the description box, and you can also find it on Dynamite's website, which I'm also going to leave a link to. And if you want to pick up my books featuring great heroines like the Isis series, the Eastine series, the Spinsterella trilogy, and the book A Recipe for Success, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, Escape from Transylvania. The goddess next door and John Haynes must escape a horde of vampires on the hunt in this horror-filled Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Escape from Transylvania in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.